Hi guys, so this is another pick a card. In this pick a card, what we're going to do is we're going to see what is it that your inner child most wants you to know right now. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a playlist series of pick a cards to do with your inner child because just psychically, I often see that people's inner childs have a highly significant impact on what's currently going off in their life, in a positive way, and then also sometimes in a way that's quite protective when maybe it doesn't need to be so protective, or that kind of thing. So let's have a look. Either way, I do know that so often if you're trying to create something in your life and it's not quite creating itself, it's always worth checking in with your inner child. So let's just see what happens. So I think we'll do 4 piles. And let's just see. I love these cards. They're really cool. I've not actually used them before. They're like called like the art oracles. So let's just see how we freestyle with them. I just feel like your inner children are always really creative and playful at their core when they're happy and healthy. So I thought we'd just start off with that. Let's see. So, oh yeah, and also apologies, I've had a chip of this nail, seriously friggin' irritating. It flicked off when I was in the sauna the other day. I friggin' love a sauna. If you want to enhance your psychic abilities, I swear saunas are great. They can really, for some reason, open you up. And I know I'm not the only psychic that finds that. But anyway, apologies for that. I will get it sorted. Anyway, back to this. Okay, is your answer in pile number 1? Is your answer in pile number 2? Is your answer in pile number 3? Is your answer in pile number 4? Okay, so just feel into yourself intuitively and just go with the first response. You might find that you get a couple of numbers come up. Just trust whatever you get and just go with it. And now we will go straight on to pile number 1. Okay, so this is for everybody that chose pile number 1 as holding the message that your inner child most wants you to know right now. So let's just have a feel into this. I don't know why this instantly makes me think of the Earth's electrical grid. And I don't mean to do with the man-made electrical grid. I mean like Earth's very, I don't know, as a psychic, and maybe you can even see it as well. Like sometimes you can see that there's almost like this network of almost like a lattice like that all the way around the Earth, and it somehow connects all of the Earth together. And I do know that it's something where you can meditate and you can tap into it. And sometimes I have done, and obviously it feels amazing. And you can do it to bring energy into you and also transfer energy away from you to maybe connect into other people, or just so many different things. You can be really creative. So the first thing I would imagine is your inner child. I think your inner child wants to communicate with you within meditation. And I feel as well like your inner child really wants to be connecting more. They just want to be connecting more with other people, with other situations. They do literally want to go out and play with others, and it's kind of giving me a very kind of Gemini kind of energy. So when you see the 2 twins, which is part of the Gemini astrology, they're like icon thing. For some reason, it's kind of reminding me a little bit of that, and that they just kind of want to go out. And I think as well, your inner child is ready for you to, if you're not in a partnership, to meet a partner. If you are in a partnership, delve a little bit deeper, have a little bit more fun, be a little bit more playful. Maybe if you're also in a relationship and some kind of heavy things are coming up, I think your inner child is just bring a little bit more playful joy into it. And everything doesn't always have to be so serious. Don't feel like you've got the world on your shoulders. It doesn't need to be like that anymore. So that's kind of what I'm really feeling with this instantly. Let me just see what it says. It says, live to serve, serve to soul. Intent, the words by which to live your life. Great heights are best seen from your lowest points. Interesting. So I think as well, your inner child is wanting to tell you that it's what's currently going off right now. It's useful for you to reflect on this, but not spend too much time dwelling on it. Yes, it's important to be aware of, but you don't need to in any way kind of if you're reflecting on it to the point that it's actually making you feel a bit heavy or a little bit down, then your inner child wants you to know that you just need to stop and just go off and do something else. Because actually, you know, this, whatever this situation is, it's not what you think it is, and you're slightly reading into it in a way that's obscuring the information and making it seem like it's your burden, when actually it's not your burden. That's definitely what I'm kind of getting with that. And I'm also getting that your inner child is saying whatever is currently going off, it's very much doing something to heal and strengthen your fifth chakra. So that's all about expression and authenticity. And I think that kind of expression pulls itself into the Gemini thing, because I think your inner child wants you to know that actually it really is about, I've said it before, but my guides are like, it is literally just this. Just have more fun. Be more playful, express things in life that you enjoy doing. Like, you don't always have to talk about things which are a struggle or challenging. You can choose what you're deciding to communicate, and what you're deciding to communicate does play a big basis on how you're vibrating. How you're vibrating depends on what you attract, and therefore you attract whatever it is you've ultimately been talking about currently. So your words through communication have real power at the moment. So that's just something to be mindful of. So let's see what else we get with all of this. Let's go with these. See if you can channel anything else. I'm actually seeing like your inner child in like a little sailing dinghy, and then I can see like a load of other children as well in like sailing dinghies, and they're kind of like in a race, but it doesn't seem competitive. It just seems quite playful and fun, and it's like really, really windy. Like I say, I'm just really, really feeling that your inner child really, really does want to connect, and really, really wants to connect with others. It's like your inner child is saying, find others that are into what you're into, but at the same time, also be open to others that are into very different things than you as well. Like there's something that you are really going to gain. And I think this is very much like the crystal grid, actually, because if you imagine that this is the crystal grid that's around the earth, there's connection points all over the earth. The thing is, there's different cultures, there's different religions, there's obviously different beliefs, there's different people, there's different stories, there's different everything in the earth. And I get the feeling on planet Earth, and I get the feeling that your inner child really is in a place where it's almost like they want to go. Like the words I'm getting is like they want to go to school because they want to go and have fun in the playground. It's that kind of vibe that I'm kind of getting that your inner child wants you to know. Right, let's see how we go with that, and we can always get more. So we have High Priestess. I feel like it's going in between Two of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. Then we also have Ace of Swords and Youth of Cups. And then in the middle we have Starbathing. Nice. So let me just feel into these, and you do the same. So what your inner child most wants you to know right now. I'm getting this real strong thing about they definitely want to chat to you in meditation, because this person has their eyes shut. It looks like they're meditating, and it is the High Priestess, so she's definitely meditating. The Queen of Pentacles also got their eyes shut, and obviously this card here, Starbathing, this person looks like they're lying down and meditating. So I absolutely think the best messages that you're going to get to do with your inner child is not even going to be from me here. It's going to be from you going into meditation and being specifically open to chat to your inner child. I do really feel this is your inner child like wanting to not tell you about something that you need to heal, or something that they're not happy about, or something that they're sad about. No. It's something that your inner child wants to tell you about like being kind of playful, and they want you to, they're actually ready for you to see things somehow in a new way. I don't know, whatever they're going to share with you, it's going to give you a new perspective on how you can tap back into playful, like here, Youth of Cups, like youthful energy, quite literally, but in a way that I think is going to be incredibly grounding. It's going to be really, really grounding. Let me just see what else we get. Just want to get a little bit more for this Two of Pentacles here, because sometimes I like to know what each pentacle is. So I'll have one for that pentacle, have one for that pentacle. So let's see what this pentacle is. Six of Cups. Let's see what this pentacle is. Eight of Cups. Interesting. I mean, really, I think this is actually quite a spread of connection, because we got that in the beginning, and then Six of Cups is often seen as like the soulmate, you know, that kind of card. But you know what, in relation to everything we're talking to, I just think this is then again about your inner child, like I say, wanting to connect with other people. And obviously this just makes me think that it's wanting to make connections that will last the test of time, that, you know, that you can almost like grow old with, that there's like a journey with, is what I'm saying. And I do actually think the Eight of Cups, and I see this woman kind of like walking into the distance. I think this is also very much just a case of, if in any way you've been quite alone or isolated recently, I just, you know, your inner child is like saying, no, you know what, we've had time alone, it has been good, it has really helped us, but once again, just these words keep coming through, I just want to go out and play now. I want to go out and meet people, have a good time, and all of that kind of thing. And I do feel like your inner child is kind of thirsty for you to gain new and unique different perspectives through connecting with a complete range of different people. And I also do feel like this is what is making me think about the internet. It's making me feel about the internet. I feel like after you've meditated with your inner child, at some point after that, you'll kind of just naturally, without even thinking, get drawn to something on the internet, and it's going to hold some really important information for you. And I'll tell you how you'll know that it's this important information, because suddenly you'll flip back to remembering that I've just said this in this video, and you'll be like, oh my God, I think it's this. I think this is what that tarot reader was going on about. That's kind of how you'll know what this is. But it will be something, it will be something which ultimately, whatever you view on the internet, it helps you develop a new thought process or a new idea to do with something. And it's quite liberating and freeing. So after you've like heard the content or clicked onto the site or listened to the podcast or whatever it might be, you're going to feel quite liberated and you will feel lighter. That's something else about what's going on. But I've got this feeling that it comes about as a result of you being open to the messages from your inner child to literally be more playful. There's something about that is really, really coming in. And I do think the meditation is useful. I don't know why, but I'm also getting this, and I haven't ever got it with this before, so it must be specific to this reading, is I also feel that it will be important for you to somehow ground and earth, and very much I mean like quite literally through discharging electromagnetic frequencies. I'm getting for some reason that that's really important. Just one second. Because I don't know this, but this is what my guides are saying, so I don't know, it must be true because I do always trust them. They're saying that in order for you, if you want to in meditation tap into this, the like electromagnetic grid of the earth, then actually you really want to make sure that you are not holding too much electromagnetic frequencies, because the electromagnetic frequencies cause like a static charge in some of your energy fields, and it will make it harder for you to align into the earth's natural energetic frequency. So there's something about that that's useful. Obviously as well, you can I know as well with stuff like the talk of 5G and stuff like that coming in, and obviously if you guys know about EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, you'll know that might ultimately not really be the most ideal thing for a human being. But obviously still though, even I'm a great believer in that you just adapt to the situation and you make this shit work for you. And so, it might be worth just having a look at different ways that you can earth and discharge. Obviously, there's certain crystals I know that you can do this with, like a lot of the black ones, like tourmaline, stuff like that, are really good. I think also there's a fluoride one that's really good at helping with remove electromagnetic stress. I also have got these amazing things. I'm just going to leave a little link here so you can see the picture. That really, really are incredible at dealing with electromagnetic frequencies, because I had a real experience with that. And then also things like I've got a grounding sheet, so I sleep on a grounding sheet, an earthing sheet. That is friggin' amazing. I love it. So there's plenty of other ways that you can do this, but this is something that your inner child is saying might be quite useful for you. Obviously just go with that if you feel called to, because you'll intuitively know what that feels like for you. But ultimately here, I do feel like the message is quite short and sweet, which is great, which is be more playful, look to connect, look to do things to enhance your throat chakra, move away from isolation, definitely get into meditation, look for new ideas and thought processes which come through connecting with other people with different ways of looking at things, both on the internet and in your life, and just stay open to other insights that you get from your inner child in meditation, because I really feel like your inner child wants to chat to you a lot, and it's so cute. I didn't even notice this the first time around, but there's a little inner child there too. Super cute. So yes, I hope you found that useful. Let us now pull a card for you just to meditate with, and just see if you get additional messages from your inner child that enhance the rest of this reading. Here we go. Ooh. Patterns. Cool, so you can pause this video now if you feel like you just want to stare at it a little bit more. But if not, I hope you found that useful. Definitely have a go at listening to your inner child, because it definitely has something that it wants to tell you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Like I say, I'm going to do a playlist of lots of different things on your inner child. I don't know why, but I just know that that'll be a really good thing. It'll be really useful for so many people. And like I say, to have like a really good relationship with your inner child is so, so useful for manifesting, particularly when you're trying to create new experiences in your life that you haven't experienced before. You really want to have your inner child on board. So we'll do some more of these. You check out my Instagram, it's AbigailGrace2311. I post lots of psychic stuff there. I also have another channel, See It Like a Psychic, where I put lots of information on there about psychic resources. I have Facebook and Twitter, and if you would like a reading with me, I'm just doing my website, so you can contact me on this email address. But basically, all the information is down below. So, hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, I mean, I friggin' really enjoyed it whenever I've meditated to do this grid in the earth. And sometimes I've done it to actually put an intent out to connect with certain people that I haven't yet met. So that also might be something you might feel called to do, to help with your business, with your work, with your relationships, even with some cool skill like becoming a better snowboarder or something, or like a better climber or anything like that, or a better artist, whatever it might be. I just feel like there's lots of other souls that are wanting and ready to connect with you, and your inner child knows that and just wants to go out and play. So it's a nice reading. See you guys soon. Bye. Hi guys, this is for everybody who chose message number 2 as the information that your inner child wants you to know right now. So let's have a look. Feel into this. I mean, that's quite an interesting picture. Okay, so what I'm feeling is, I mean, quite specific, to be honest with you. I do feel like your inner child is wanting you to pay attention to something to do with your mother or your primary caregiver that was a female. And I feel like it's something important to the lineage that you are from. And I don't know, it's just really important to pay attention to that now. Because what I'm hearing is, because it's not going away until you look at it, but actually it won't be difficult to look at it, and once you look at it, you'll get so much clarity. The clarity will come quickly, and it's actually going to bring a lot of stability into your life on a physical, mental, emotional and energetic level. It's going to make you, for some reason, feel a lot more secure about whatever you're currently trying to create and manifest. And then it is really important just to pay attention to this. It's really interesting. I am getting the word sacrifice. In some ways, it kind of feels like a big sacrifice has constantly been made in some way in the line, in the lineage of the females that you're from. So like obviously your mum, your grandma, and so on and so on and so on. There's something about that where a lot of sacrifice has been made, and I think your inner child wants you to know that you don't need to make the same sacrifices anymore. But in order to not make the same sacrifices, you need to fully understand what that sacrifice is and has been playing out in the pattern within your family. And it's definitely to do with the female lineage. And also your inner child is wanting to tell you that like the time is now to do it. Like it's the most opportunist time for you to do it. So whenever you click on this video, like this is a really important thing to pay attention to. And if you do pay attention to this, like I say, you can just create a very different future going forward. But to make sure that you first create something different, you must first know the pattern that you're from. So it's kind of like, and I'm getting these words, never forget your roots, always honour your roots, appreciate your roots, respect your roots, but understand that your roots then give you the stability to go off somewhere completely unknown and create what you want because you have such a secure base deep down inside. There's something about that I'm getting. Anyway, let me just see what it says. It says, look directly at whatever you're avoiding. The bullseye is always in the margins. Listen when a city tells its secrets. Oh, I freaking love that. Listen when a city tells its secrets. I don't know why, but I'm getting that some of you will be having dreams to do with being in cities. I really love that. Listen when a city tells its secrets. And I do feel like this lineage that you're from has got a few secrets, and they do want to tell you. And I do think you'll be able to find them out within like meditation or just being open to wanting to know more and to uncover the whole story, so then you can create something very different. I'm also though getting, my spirit guides literally saying this, that quite a few of you already know what it is that you're working with your lineage, but now really it's just about somehow finding like a deep space of real like power and stability like within you from this. And I'm kind of getting this thing as well, and it's funny because my guide said this to me, or I felt this a while ago to do with something. I was like, oh, it's like standing on giants gets you somewhere. And I know that I've always heard this before, you know, like the people that came before you are like giants, which you then stand on, which means that you can get to the next higher level. Now, I totally get that this is how we work as a human species. And in fact, as many species, we just grow on what came before. But I think it's somehow really finding some real gift in whatever has come through on your mum's lineage, regardless of how you might have felt about it. Once you can find the gift, you'll find the real place of appreciation. Then suddenly it becomes like this huge, secure, stable, amazing thing, which actually means that you're able to tap better into support in other areas of your life. That is really what I'm feeling. And definitely with the red, this is definitely base chakra. So base chakra is all about support and stability. But anyway, let's just see what else we get. See what else we get here. So what does your inner child want to tell you? Your inner child is saying as well, if you do look at this thing to do with the mother, what it will actually do is it will do a number of things. It's going to change your base chakra, it's going to change your sacral chakra, and it's going to change your heart chakra, and it's going to make them all way more coherent and collaborative with the rest of your like chakras. But let's just see how we want to do these. I feel like they come like this. Whoa, that flew right out. I love that. Oh wow, I love this card as well. So this is the Naked Heart. So this is like the wild card of this deck. That's awesome. Don't even know where that should go. I feel like it should actually go there. In the middle. You know, this is the thing. It's like I feel like your heart's got a secret that it wants you to know, but you're only going to find that by first integrating whatever this is with the female part of your lineage, and then you'll suddenly find that your heart has got a new way of seeing something or perceiving something which you can completely feel, which completely changes the torus field of your heart, and therefore it starts changing what you attract. And I do have this feeling it has got something to do with Whoa, they're really flying out. 2 of Swords, 7 of Swords, and Temperance. Right, because I was just talking about what we were talking about when they flew out. You see the 7 of Swords, this is this thing about secrecy. I don't know why, but I feel like there is this little bit of a secret. Wait, let me just see what else we get, because this is actually interesting. This is really, really interesting. This isn't quite as straightforward as the other pile. Let's see what we get here. So we get the Hermit. Oh wow, we get the Tower. See, lots of big energies here. We've also got Temperance. Let's see what's going on here. 4 of Swords. That's another thing that I would say to do with meditation, as is the Hermit. Wow, oh my frigging God. So we've got 2 Tower cards here. I could feel this was something complex, but I wasn't quite sure what. Then we've got the Page of Swords. I mean, to be fair, it was in reverse, and I think it should be in reverse. That was 6 of Pentacles. So let's just have a look. I don't usually do this, but I feel like I should constantly hold this wild card in my hand, because it will give me some additional guidance or something when we are feeling into it. So guys, you feel into it, I'll feel into it. Let's see what we get. Okay, I am getting that there is some kind of like fear and resistance to wanting to go into whatever this is to do with this energy, to do with the mother. I do also feel like, in all honesty, this really isn't just your resistance. This is just like the lineage that you come from. I think each generation has sort of built on whatever this is. And now really it's for you to look at it and to completely reprogram it. And that can obviously, on a soul level, right? That can obviously feel quite... That can feel like a burden. I mean, let's just be honest with you. And I mean, in some ways, my guides are saying it's a burden or it's a responsibility, and it's depending on how you view things. If you view things like a victim, it's going to feel like a burden. If you view things like I'm getting the word warrior, but that's just like a little bit intense. If you just view things like an innovator, you'll just see this as it's your responsibility. And there's something about switching the mindset from a burden to a responsibility. And if you turn it into a responsibility, then actually what you start creating is an opportunity. And then that opportunity can bring something. I think that opportunity then does this thing of turning the 6 of Pentacles from upside down to the right position. And I actually think what will actually happen is, if you sort out this thing to do with whatever this is to do with the mother energy, you'll start stepping into like this really mature energy of give, receive, share and grow. And I have actually done an Instagram post on this a while ago, just so you can get the vibe of give, receive, share and grow. And in fact, actually, I had a whole tattoo that I did to do with this. I had this done years and years ago, like symbolise that. And I do really think that what will happen is, if you sort out this thing to do with the mother lineage, and actually, to be honest, this actually was very much done to do with my female lineage. I can't remember how many years I had this done now. 3 years ago, maybe something like that. Maybe a little bit more. But yeah, there's something about this where if you then look at healing whatever has gone on in this female lineage, then actually... oh my God, there's just going to be a massive, massive breakthrough. And it is just going to completely change things. And you know what, I don't know why, but I'm feeling like it's going to change things on the female part of your energy, which is all things like relationships, nurturing, creativity, your psychic abilities. But I also feel like this is the masculine part of the Tower. I feel like somehow it crumbles 2 parts of you, both on the feminine energy, as we talked about, and the masculine energy part of you, which is things like career, money, business, authority, autonomy, life purpose, that kind of thing. It's going to completely shift it all. And I do feel as well, this Hermit, for some reason, I've never really seen it like this, but I actually think this is you coming out of a Hermit phase. And you see, what's going to be is you're going to gain a whole load of wisdom by actually you'll gain wisdom and you'll gain huge amounts of energy through going into your female lineage and completely understanding it and then creating something very different, while still completely finding the beautiful parts of whatever existed and using those of roots that you never forget and you like kind of cherish, if you see what I mean. It's almost like this kind of wisdom then brings you a key which then sets you free, and it's going to set you free from some place where you've kind of been protecting yourself. So for some of you, you'll have been protecting yourself to do with relationships. Some of you have been protecting yourself to maybe being successful. Some of you will be protecting yourself to maybe connecting with lots of people. Some of you will be protecting yourself to do with, I suppose, creating whatever it is that would truly make you feel emotionally fulfilled. That's the crux of all of this. Because really that's what my guide is saying is the crux of you working on this female lineage. Like the feminine energy to do with whatever all of this is ultimately, it's about you living a life where you feel emotionally fulfilled. And so whatever that means for you, work with this energy and you'll have this huge breakthrough. But it's really going to cause a ripple effect in many different areas of your life, because that's big to get obviously 2 Tower cards, and also obviously the Naked Heart here, which is such a beautiful card. I totally love it. I do think as well, by you looking into whatever this is with your lineage, you're going to have to make sure that you are not deceiving yourself in some way about something. And the deception is something that you might do because for you to actually really create something different to your female lineage, you'll be going into the unknown. And even though you may very much want to create something different, the unknown, quite often for the human experience, can cause a human being to basically pull away and retreat in some way, because actually, even though it might want this positive change that would come if it took these actions and if it carried on, there's a part of it that just wants to stay where it already is and stay anchored in the situation that they're in, even if ultimately it's a bit of a stalemate and it doesn't really bring you any more joy or whatever it might be. But the thing is, by not going into this and being open to see it fully, you are absolutely going to be cutting off some of your life force energy. And it will definitely be having different impacts in your life, or to do with things to do with emotional fulfillment. I don't know why, but I'm just getting that really is the word. But also your inner child wants you to know as well that with the Temperance card here, this is very much about balance. But for some reason, when this first flipped out, I really thought of this as like the Justice card. And it's very much like, it's something about karma, obviously. And you know what it is? It's like this. Your inner child wants you to know, and this is kind of interesting, that this is like this sort of energy I'm feeling, channeling from the Naked Heart, that your inner child wants you to know that, and let your soul listen to these words that I'm going to say now, because I feel like it's that kind of thing. Your inner child wants you to know that if you can just truly accept the karma within your female lineage, whatever it is, if you truly just accept it with not resignation, but with that peace of no longer resisting it, and just kind of like, you know what, okay, cool, quite practical. Okay, I signed up to be born into this lineage, to come in with all of these different things. You know what, I'm not running away from this anymore. I'm not resisting it. I'm not fighting it. I am surrendering into it, and I'm just going to go with this, and I will do what needs to be done to change this entire cycle, not just for me, but for 7 generations after me, and to liberate all the generations before me. Because obviously we also know on a psychic level that time is like everything's happening in the same moment. But I think there's this thing about, if you can really find this like Naked Heart moment of really just being like, find complete peace and acceptance with, okay, cool, this is a karma that I decided to get incarnated into, and you know what, I'm up for this, I can do this, I will nail this, this will be awesome, now universe, what's the next step? Something like that is like what can really trigger this whole thing to set into motion. And your inner child is saying that it really won't be, I'm like feeling loads of pressure on my shoulders at the moment. Like, I can feel that so many of you feel like this could be a huge burden to go into this, and I've seriously like understandably like hesitant about it. And you know what? Whatever you decide to do, your spirit guides, your inner child, and life will support you. If you don't want to do this, you know what? You totally don't have to, right? It's all just a choice. But if you do decide to do this, it won't be half as difficult as what you think it will be. And the gifts and the opportunities that come out of it will be absolutely mega. That's what I feel. Absolutely mega. And it really will turn this card the right way up here. Now, I do just want to get another card as well to do with this. Let's see. Oh, so nice. Okay, so this card says, you got the love. I can't even say that. Hadrian energy, codependency, boundaries. So I suppose somewhere within this, and you know, it's so often boundaries comes up to do with like female energy and particularly the mother energy. Because obviously the thing about the very nature of being a mother is obviously not always, because you can adopt children, there's all these different things that happen, but then still energetically they'll have this thing of like somehow your boundaries are very like intermeshed. And obviously certain people with more karma have more intermeshed boundaries than other people. I definitely had really intermeshed boundaries with my mum for sure. I was born by cesarean section as well, and I do think there was something about us not having done the actual breach, you know what I mean, as in like going through the birth canal and separating in that way, through our own actions. Like a third party had to come in to obviously create that kind of split to do with the cesarean section. So maybe also look at how you were born, what your birth story is. Maybe find out from your mum, if it's possible, like how she felt during pregnancy, what the birth was like. If you can't speak to her for whatever reason, I bet there's somebody that might know. And if not, you can always do it in meditation and your inner child will know. I think there'll be something really important about your birth story. And even if you already know your birth story, I'm guessing there is something additional to that. Because do remember this, no matter how much we do and how much we grow, like there's always another situation comes into our life, so it gives us an opportunity to find out something even more. And remember, that's also what secrets can be. You know how we mentioned secrets earlier on? Secrets aren't always this kind of like nefarious kind of action. Like sometimes secrets can just be things a bit like the occult or the mystery, things that are hidden just until the moment. So a bit like a seed in the ground, you don't know it's there until it bursts out with its shoots. But the thing is, the seed is still there, although it appears like a secret to people that don't know it's there until it suddenly pushes out its roots. And I do think there's something to, and I do think there's something to do with that. And obviously this thing with codependency, this is always a really big theme, I think, often with things to do with the mother energy. And even if you had a mother that you never really felt overly connected to or something like that, it's really interesting the way that codependency can be set up, because codependency can be set up by either too much of something or too little of something. So too much of something can often make somebody feel like they need something else outside of them to support them. Too little of something can also make them feel like that they need something that they haven't got. So it's kind of unusual about how this can work. And I don't know why, but you know, seeing loads of different faces here, this is also making me feel this is something that you can really chat to with a number of people that are currently in your life already. And obviously, as we're all getting way more aware of like masculine and feminine energies, we're all getting way more aware about how our childhood affects us, we're all getting way more aware about past lives, future lives, and all of this. There's this huge ability of like expanding your consciousness through going into these situations. And for whatever reason, your inner child is like, boom, do it now, because there's so much to be gained by it. But you know what, at the very least, I'd definitely have a look at your root chakra. And if you didn't want to go into any of this, but you still wanted to take something from this, I would just say go into your root chakra, check out and make sure it's strong and stable. Make sure you feel supported by life, okay? If you don't feel supported by life in some way, then maybe go into that, because ultimately that's some core thing that's going off here too. So there's different ways that you can kind of work with this depending on obviously what you want to do, because I love the fact we have free will. Friggin' love free will. And I also love the fact that actually, you know what, we can't do anything right or wrong. There is no right or wrong, because from like that soul perspective, just right and wrong doesn't exist. It's just different experiences. That's all it is. And that's all this is, and everything is anyway. So regardless, no stress. Now, let us see. This card is just for you guys to interpret just yourself. So let's see what we get. Ooh, communion, number 23. Love the number 23. Cool, so pause this video now if you just want to stay staring at that a little bit longer. But if not, I hope that you found something useful out of that. Like I say, there's different ways that you can play with this depending on where you're at and what you want to achieve and all of that. So just go with whatever feels right for you. But just know that this is absolutely like an auspicious sign, that's it, to get this card. And also remember, it flew out. It totally flew out. So whatever you decide, you will be massively supported, and it's a really good time for whatever you decide. So I hope you liked that video. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you did. I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, so you can check out that for more psychic info. I have Instagram, on Abigail Grace 2311. I just post lots of psychic stuff there. I also have Facebook and Twitter. And if you'd like a reading with me, then I'm just setting up my website, so just email me on this address. But other than that, I will see you guys soon for another pick a card. Bye. Hi guys, this is Ari that chose message number 3 as holding the message from their inner child. So let's feel into this card, see what we get. I feel like your inner child is feeling a little bit scared about something at the moment, and actually I think they're really looking to you, as in like the adult part of you, to reassure them that everything's going to be okay. I feel like your inner child feels a little bit out of control, and I think for some of you this might be having certain like translating into your physical reality as a certain subtle, potentially like self-sabotaging acts. But really, they're really just acts to kind of like try and make your inner child feel more in control. I feel like your inner child is in like a little bit of a conflict, because in one way it wants you to come in and take control of the situation, but in another way it also wants to keep control of the situation. So there's kind of like this internal resistance going off between you, and some of you might even already feel this as a bit of anger or a bit of frustratement, or like just a bit of unsettled unrest that's been going off within you. And if that is the case, just know that this is just your inner child, and really what you just need to do is speak to them in meditation and find out what it is that they're fearful of, because it's different for all of you. Why it is they feel out of control, why it is they feel they need to control, and then obviously it's just about working to reassure them to do with whatever this is. And also quite often inner child like to have like very practical plans put forward to them, because even though quite often inner childs are quite emotionally based, they just feel really secure if somebody comes in with logical step by step like things that you can do, while also, and this is key, really acknowledging how the inner child is really feeling. Because I do feel like your inner child's definitely feeling quite vulnerable about something. And obviously remember, your inner child is part of you, so everything I'm saying can be applying to you. Some of you might even be consciously aware of this, some of you might be not. It's different for all of you. And let's just see what it says here. It says, don't fear pain. Art is an aesthetic. Do you like who you see in your petri dish? Become your paradigm. I suppose, so then this must be somebody like a plastic surgeon. So I think... Wait, this is quite a deep message. Just give me a minute here. Let me just give a minute just to just now channel into this with everything. Just 1 second. Sometimes I like to shut my eyes when I do this. Just give me a moment. So what your inner child wants to tell you. Okay, so your inner child really doesn't feel good enough at the moment. And I think your inner child is really like judging itself quite harshly. And, you know, I think your inner child feels like it was judged very harshly when it was growing up, either at home or at school, or even potentially both. And I think it makes you potentially feel like, you know, you're always striving to be better, 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 blah, 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 and it's like that. It's like a mental, like, whirlwind of constantly needing to feel like you need to be better. And I do actually feel like your inner child is getting to the sort of place where it just can't carry on with it anymore. Like, it just doesn't want to carry on with it anymore. Like, and I think even you might be becoming aware of this part within you where you feel like maybe you don't have high self-worth, and that it's actually constantly making you very critical of yourself. So it's kind of like, I'm getting like the archetype of like Virgo, but sort of the less developed side of the Virgo archetype in the astrology, because it's kind of like you're very, very self-critical, and it like can sometimes give anxiety and allow your mind to wander, and maybe wander a lot at night time or just before you go to bed or stuff like that. And I think some of you, it could be something where you wake up in the morning, you have like a little bit of low grade anxiety to do with something, because it's kind of like the narrative that goes off in your head. And like with your inner child, it's all like, oh, we need to do that better, or that's not quite right, or that's not quite right. And interestingly, I think for some of you, you are actually in a quite a good situation, and things are actually going well, even though it might not be as so obvious to you. But part of the reason why it doesn't feel obvious to you is because you really have a really strong internal identity of like, I am not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not right. I need to be good enough. I need to be right. And so that kind of thing is like playing off. And I think some of you might come into criticism sometimes from other people, or you feel like you're being criticised, but that's also because of this vibration thing within you to do with your inner child. However, before we go off into this tailspin of all that stuff, which I don't want to do for you guys, this is only coming up now, because this is the opportune moment for you to deal with this, change it, and shift it around. So let's just see how you can go about doing this. So let's see from your inner child, how can you go about shifting and changing this? Okay, 7 of Pentacles, upright. Oh no, sorry, reversed. So let's see, inner child, how can you go about changing this? Number one, I'm guessing as well that if you start having getting a bigger perspective on your situation, on your life, that number one is going to be something which is going to allow you to see things from a much more healthy perspective, and it'll be something that you can then chat to your inner child about in meditation, about how things are improving, how things are good, what you have achieved, actually where you're at. Because I think what's going off with you guys is a little bit like, say, with the plastic surgeon or the patients having the plastic surgeon. They've obviously focused so much on a part of their body or a part of their face that they do not like, that now it's blowing everything else out of proportion, in terms of, I bet they look in the mirror and maybe all they see is like, I don't know, the wonky eye, and they don't recognize that they've got this like amazing nose, great eyebrows, incredible lips, like lovely cheeks. I mean, all they just notice is this one thing which isn't exactly perfect, and they've focused on it so much, and it's become such a nightmare to them that then they're prepared to pay and go through surgery and a whole load of things to get something right. Now, I'm not saying that that's not something to do, because my guides told me a long time ago, the thing with plastic surgery is this: it's like everything else in life. If you do something because you want to become even better, even more beautiful, even more successful, but it's coming from a genuine desire to expand and become more, rather than it's coming from a place of, I hate that about me, I don't have that enough, oh, I don't have enough money, I don't this, I don't. If it comes from that lower vibe of like not having enough, or coming from a fear space, then that's sometimes when surgery and things becomes not so healthy. So like with everything, right? Good and bad, and it's all about how you decide to use it. So, you know, but the main point is here is by you focusing in on just a few things or one thing that you do not like in your life or your setup or whatever, it's blowing everything else out of proportion. And it's like creating like a whirlwind of a mania around your energy field, which is then also offsetting other kinds of things. And so, like I say, one of the big ways that you can start to change this is you need to start looking at things like holistically. So, for example, this person here, if they didn't like something, one part of their face, maybe if they started to look at the overall, like, face, that overall how everything came together, they might see themselves very differently, because ultimately that's what everybody else sees, rather than just like one point of view. They see kind of the whole picture of you. And so by you looking at your life or your situation in that kind of holistic manner, I think it will start to calm things down for you and help you to get out of this cycle of always needing more, always needing more. Now, there's nothing wrong, like my guys were saying, with like wanting to expand and create more and be more and all of this, but it needs to come from like a much more joyful, happy place, rather than a place of like fear or anxiety. So that's kind of the switch. And also, once you change that place into like basically it would be this, right? Potentially currently you've got this belief system somewhere which is like, I am not good enough, I am not worthy. Like, once you can do all of this and change it all around, your belief system will be something like, I am powerful, I am a creator. It's going to be totally different. So it means that even though you might end up taking the same actions, the results will be very different, because the fuel you're putting in before those actions, i.e. the belief systems that you have that are creating those actions, are a completely different vibration to the ones of not being enough. And that's kind of what's going off. So just 1 second. I'm also getting that this is quite a lot probably to do with money and and life purpose and that sort of thing over relationships, because oh my god, guys, my right trap is like killing me right now. So it's just telling me that you're definitely carrying a burden to do with, and because the right side is to do with the masculine energy of your body, so it's all stuff to do with like authority, responsibility, money, career, life purpose, and that kind of thing. But let's have a look. So then we have Knight of Wands, we have the Magician in reverse, we have the Three of Pentacles, oh wow, Three of Wands in reversed, and then we have Fall into My Arms, Surrender, Holding the Opposites, Extremes of Life. Okay, let's just feel into this. You guys feel into it too. I'm definitely just getting very like strong kind of like solar plexus with a bit of sacral chakra energy kind of mixed into all of this. So let's see, what do you do about this to change? What does your inner child want you to know so you can start to change this situation or this way of seeing yourself and life? Do you know what? I am going to have to just get a couple more cards because this is not straightforward. So come on, let's get some cards that make it all very clear. Six of Cups in reversed, Four of Swords in reversed. Okay, so I definitely think you guys potentially have the ability to distract or overwork yourself. Sorry, to overwork as a distraction when things start to get out of control. And what I want you to maybe be conscious of is that maybe the reason why a lot of you have a coping mechanism of like overworking when things come in that feel uncomfortable for you to deal with is because in some way, on a really unconscious level, you feel like by working harder you will actually be your worth is greater. It's kind of like, oh, if things aren't going well in my life, well, at least if I keep working harder, if I keep doing more, if I keep distracting myself in this way, then actually I will like generate this energy, which means that I am more powerful, I am more successful, that means I am right, that means I am good enough. It's that kind of vibe that's going off. But I really am getting that, the Knight of Wands, with this whole setup, what you want to be mindful of this is whenever you use that like technique to self-soothe, so that one of overworking or over distracting yourself in whatever way, you're just putting a huge amount of energy, Knight of Wands, into, oh God, it's like, all I can just know is ultimately it just creates more anxiety, and therefore you have to work more, distract yourself more. Like, it's just like you just can't be by yourself and just spend some time by yourself, like without overdoing things, because you feel like to sit with yourself would potentially be far too painful and it would let a whole load of sadness out. But the truth is, fall into my arms, holding the opposites extremes of life, that really is the solution. And actually at first I thought the Magician was, well, I wasn't really sure what it was, but now I know exactly what it was. And because it comes next to this one, I do think it's about doing some internal reflection. And some of you will probably be thinking, yeah, but I'm already doing internal reflection. But I don't know, there's something about you distracting yourself in some way. And I do, for some reason, think a lot of you put it into work or something like that. Because I'm not really seeing anything about going out and socialising too much. Although I do think obviously going out and socialising will also help self-soothe, because once again, it becomes a distraction technique. But it's more just by spending a little bit of time by yourself, more than anything, just to feel what you're really feeling. Like, allow yourself to get upset if that's what you need to. It's like you're kind of like the pile that reminds me of Six of Cups in reverse, so like childhood things. It reminds me, and actually also Seven of Pentacles, it reminds me of you'd be the sort of people where, and I'm totally prone to this, so I can say that this is totally something I can fall into, is you might eat to self-soothe in some way. That might be one of your coping mechanisms that you developed from when you were younger. It's like I just feel like you guys have got a number of coping mechanisms that you do in order to, when you start to feel emotionally unfulfilled or emotionally unstable, or out of control in some way, you've definitely got some coping mechanisms that you go to. And I think the thing is, to really change this, it's really about being honest about what these coping mechanisms are, and actually looking to create healthy strategies that are way more collaborative for yourself, your soul, your inner child, your life, your environment. And I do think this is where other people can support you with this. I totally think other people can support you with this. I know what this is. Three of Wands in reverse. Just give me a moment. I think the thing is, you guys have got a huge amount of creative potential. And you know what, in all honesty, some of you guys will already be very successful. Okay, you're probably very financially successful, you've got good businesses, you've got good careers, things are going well with your career right now. Any one of these things could be something that you are. And I just know that if you just allow yourself to sit with whatever this is your inner child wants to chat to you about. So chat to your inner child, like what we said before, about kind of like anything's about sort of control issues, where it feels fearful, where your inner child feels anxiety, where your inner child feels like it wants you to take control, but at the same time it wants to be in control. So any kind of internal frustration or anger, if you just look at resolving that, and you can either do that through meditation if you know what you're doing, or you know what, just go and see somebody. Just go and see, like, I always think shamans are great for this, if they do inner child work, because it is definitely inner child work that's needing to look at. Or you know what, in all honesty, on the internet there are so many things you can do with that. I will actually see if there's a few links that I think might be good, and I'll leave them below for you, so you've got other resources that you can go to. Because I just really feel if you work with this now, you're going to release so much energy. And you know what? Ultimately, you'll start to feel better. Your inner child will feel better soon anyway, because it's how life goes, right? But the thing is, you'll be doing it in a way that is suppressing what ultimately needs to come out. You're far better to let everything come out, let the emotions come out, feel what you need to feel, be honest about how you're feeling, let all of these kind of neurosis kind of like come out. And in doing so, you'll be able to purify them from your system, and you'll be able to create a different like setting point within you. Because it's currently your setting point is just more in a place of anxiety, right? Let's put it like that. And actually that doesn't have to be your set point. You can have a totally different set point, but you do need to kind of almost go through the rite of passage of kind of like purging those feelings and those emotions. You know what, some of you, I'm telling you guys, you can do this in half a day, you can do this in a day. Some of you it might take a little bit longer, but you know what, once you set into motion this process, it will happen a lot quicker than you think. And the reason is because whenever you've clicked onto this video, this is the opportune moment to be doing this. I do really think go for support though. Totally go for support. So whether that is, you know, you reach out to some kind of healers, or I do really feel this though, right? It's not about psychotherapy, because this is, you know, with the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, this is not a mental process. This is like energy within your body that needs to move. And so it's really important to choose a therapy that will help release that as well. That's kind of what I'm really feeling. So don't just like analyze it. That won't be enough to shift this. It needs to be really kind of like viscerally felt. So that's really, really important. But like I say, I do think collaboration is important with Three of Pentacles and also Fall Into My Arms. That definitely makes me feel like there is somebody that really wants to help support you. And actually these all look like angels. So you're being supported now anyway by obviously spiritual forces. But I mean, maybe put out, if this is what you want to do, because remember, nothing is right or wrong. Whatever you choose to do is going to be perfect. Whatever you choose to do, your spirit guides and the universe support you and help you get to the next best space with whatever direction you choose. Nothing is right or wrong. It's just different experiences. And I think it's really important that you also know that, and your inner child knows that, because so many people's children have been brought up to be like, this is right and this is wrong. There is no right and wrong. That's the first bit. But whatever you decide to do, however you decide to do this, or not do this, whatever is the choice, I think you'll find you'll get some more like omens to follow. There'll be some more like stardust trails. There'll be some people coming in that just happen to say stuff, or you hear something on the radio or something like that. You'll just find that all of life is suddenly like this, zooming in to support you kind of thing. And also the ants. What I love about the ants is a paranimal that you can tap into is, oh my God, have you ever seen like a species work so intently, so hard together? Like the teamwork of ants is just insane, and their ability to shift things way beyond their weight is just crazy. And I do feel like that's something that's going off within this pile. There's a huge amount of support for you guys with everything that's going off. What I do think could be useful as well, if you don't want to go into anything too deep, but you just want to start to shift a bit of energy, is just look at the solar plexus chakra and the sacral chakra. You can just do that by just finding a few kind of links on YouTube, you know, to like meditation, stuff like that. You can listen to esophageal frequencies. That's music that's a certain vibration that hits off at chakras. So you could also do something like that. And you might also just find anyway, there's some inner child meditations that you can do on YouTube or something like that. I think all of that could be really, really positive, because remember, you just do whatever it is that you want to do. But just to reinforce the things that I do also know that you really have and your inner child has, is you are friggin' powerful creators. Powerful creators, without a shadow of a doubt. And you can really create from like a very kind of like primal energy. It's like when you decide things really, really can shift, and you have incredible focus, you have incredible determination, and your enthusiasm and passion for things in life can be epic. So all of these things are just super awesome. So that's something else that you just should always remember about yourself, because you have all of this crazy awesome energy. And like I say, for a lot of you, I know you will be very successful already in certain areas of your life. The question is, do you recognize just how successful you are? So do remember as well, if you don't want to go too heavy with some of these things we brought up, do the chakra stuff, maybe do a guided meditation on inner child, and also just remember to look at your life from the bigger perspective. if there's a problem or something you're not happy with, just look at it from the bigger perspective, because I just think that will help you self-soothe, and that will be a really healthy expression of self-soothing for you guys. So now, given everything we said, I just want to pull a card for you. This is just for you guys to interpret, given on top of everything we've already said. See what other messages you have. Woo! Flipping out. Oh, wow. Radical acceptance. How perfect is that? So if you want to pause this video, pause it now, just so you can meditate on that a little bit longer. But if not, I hope you found that useful. I just know so much power and creativity, which is awesome. I do feel like actually things are going well in your life regardless of how you see it. And once you look at the bigger perspective, I think you'll start to get an appreciation of just some of the amazing things that are already going off for you. And I just have to say to you guys, you are beautiful. Just remember this. Every level of you is beautiful, for friggin' sure. And you just need to remember that. And you're awesome, potent creators. But anyway, I hope you liked that video. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you did. I'm also on Instagram on AbigailGrace2311. I post loads of psychic shizzle there, so you can find that. I also have Facebook and Twitter. And I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, which just involves lots more stuff on, a whole load of stuff really. Just one actually thing that's coming into me. If you guys do have anxiety, I've got this video because I'm totally somebody that suffers with anxiety. And I've got a video about how you can use crystals to help with that. So I'll leave a link for that below. But other than that, I hope to see you on another video soon. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, this is for everybody that chose pile number 4 as holding the message that your inner child wants you to know right now. So let's have a little feel into this. So I think your inner child just wants you to know that you do actually have quite a lot of flow in your life, like with these moons and things like that. But and I think it's knowing what projects and what people to nurture. So like on this half, where that woman is obviously nurturing the baby, I don't know if you can see it, compared to this half, where maybe it's a bit more stagnation, there isn't necessarily that same kind of growth and abundance. And I think your inner child would just like you to know, let's just be super savvy about where we invest our energy, who we invest our energy in, people's wise, also projects wise, finances wise. It's just really about being savvy, about knowing also who to trust, who not to trust, all of that kind of thing. I really feel like that's what's going on. But your inner child also wants you to know that there's a lot of flow going off, and that you're actually in a really, really good position to move yourself forward with whatever it is that you've currently been working on, or whatever dynamic you've been working on, etc. That's really what I feel your inner child is definitely wanting to tell you right now. I do really feel there's something about relationships as well, making sure the relationships that you connect into really do nurture and nourish and sustain you and build you up. I think the building up is really important as well. It just says here, let's see, don't be yourself, be yourself. Tell the truth in every fiction. Take a good long look in someone else's mirror. I think the take a good long look in someone else's mirror is interesting, because I think this is probably your inner child as well, saying that let's see what people show us, and depending on what they show us will depend on how we invest our time, energy and resources in this person. And I think it's just about, your inner child wants you to be savvy. That's the message that they have for you right now. Because I think your inner child really feels that you've got a great ability to really be moving forward. But now it's just about, you have all the tools, you've like created whatever you've created. And now it's about finding the right networks, the right people. Maybe you're really clear on the sort of partner that you would like as well. So it's about now opening yourself up to that kind of partner and bringing them in. My spirit guide is now saying for you guys, it might be really good as well that you kind of like write down what it is you're looking for in partners or in your business move or in your bank account, and just getting really, really clear. There's something about that can be super, super useful. I feel as well, for some reason, I think it's about, your inner child also wants you to know that you don't need to put a mask on. So in whatever way you have a mask, and that could be some way that you hide yourself in some way. I think your inner child's like, no, take it all off, because like, we're amazing, and I just think everybody should know we're amazing. And there's that kind of thing. But also on the flip side of this, I think it's also about being really mindful about when somebody else has got a mask on. And it's about being mindful about how you, whether you buy into that person's mask and illusion, or whether you just observe that person's mask and illusion. And there's like a difference between the two. And I think this is something that your inner child wants you to know, because for you to keep capitalizing on flow or getting more flow in your life, for some reason this is now really relevant to whatever is going on for you. But anyway, let's just see what else we get. Let's see. So what your inner child wants to tell you. Your inner child wants to tell you that actually it does feel like really secure and stable within itself. So sometimes our inner children can be quite protective of us. But actually, for some reason, and this is pimping, whatever you've been doing, your inner child feels like really quite confident with you. So regardless of what is going off in your situation, there's like this inner part within you that does feel strong and stable. Which is a really great message, because like I say, so often I know I can read for people and I just know their inner child is just really not feeling happy, or it's not feeling very confident, or whatever that might be. But yours actually feels, the word my guide is saying is rejuvenated. It feels rejuvenated. So that's really cool. So whatever your situation is, just know that that's going off on an internal level with you. And if you do really believe that what you are inside, you can reflect outside of you, just think what that means for you in the near future. It's good if you maintain that vibe. But do obviously just be mindful about who you're connecting with. And obviously it's about being open to everybody. You can totally do that. But I think it's understanding where is healthy for you to have different people within your life, if that makes sense. So some people it's healthy for them to be closer. Some people it's healthy for them to be a little bit further apart. But it's still not like you've shut down that connection. It's just that you've got certain positions which you know just work really harmoniously for you. And I think that's kind of what's going off here. Don't know how I want to do this. Yeah, we'll do it like this. And then one more here. I do feel as well that quite a lot of you, I think one of the reasons why your inner child does actually feel so confident and happy within itself, and therefore within you, is because I feel like you're quite balanced in terms of, I think you've balanced your masculine and your feminine energy pretty well. And for some reason I also think that's making you quite appealing to other people. So it's like, I think it just can be quite enticing when another soul comes across another soul who's got a real kind of balanced energy within them, like from their masculine and feminine energy. There's something about that that's really appealing, and I feel like you do have that. So that's very cool. Let's see what we've got here. 10 of Swords in reversed. 8 of Cups upright. Wants to swizzle. Sometimes I cannot get these up for nails. 10 of Wands. 5 of Swords, 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. One of the other piles had this, but flipped, they were reversed in the opposite way, and I can't remember. I think it might have been pile 3, I cannot remember. Okay, baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Nice. Okay, so just give me a moment to feel into this. Please, you guys feel into it as well. We'll see what we get. Okay, so I'm getting a couple of things coming through here. One, usually I see the Ten of Wands as a card of burden, but really interestingly, like intuitively what's coming through is that actually this is just a huge amount of accumulated experience and wisdom. And then that would also make sense as to why your inner child feels so confident with you. I feel like you have been on quite a long journey. To do with quite a lot of things, to be honest. I mean, to do with your soul, just let's put it out there. I think you really have been working on yourself in terms of a self-growth way. And I do feel like you have just accumulated like quite a lot of wisdom and experience. I'm not totally sure that you're 100% aware, though, of just how far you've come and just how well you're doing. And it's interesting, crows I often think as like... are like gatekeepers between different realities. And I think like your inner child wants you to know, look, we're on the threshold of literally creating a very different life for ourselves. And I feel confident in you. I know we're ready to go. Like, I know that it's been like a long journey, etc. But like, we can do this and we are ready. Like, let's go, basically. It's really cool because very rare do I feel people's inner child like so kind of like enthusiastic to move forward almost into the unknown. So I think you totally do need to congratulate yourselves on the fact that, a little bit like the energy of this Three of Pentacles, like I think you have worked so hard on so many different levels of your being that now you've reached a space where I don't know, sorry, a few things are coming in. You've reached a space where I actually think you're, and I don't know why I'm picking up with this, but it's like you're happy to actually go off into the unknown, and you're actually quite happy to move from one situation to another situation to another situation. I suppose what I'm trying to say is you don't really have too much like attachment to things, but not in a bad way, as in like, oh, you just let everything slip through your fingers. It's more just like, that's it. You're just not needy. You're not needy. And I think that's another reason why your inner child feels so relaxed with you, because essentially sometimes needy people can have like this underlying little like feel of anxiety to them sometimes, and you just don't have that. And I think that's something that does make your inner child feel like they just really, really trust you, and they do really feel like you nurture them. Like I say, I do think you have just worked really hard on yourself for a consistently long period of time. And I kind of feel like something is coming your way. I really don't know why I feel like this with these two cards, but I feel like an opportunity is going to be heading your way. I do feel like an opportunity is going to be heading your way. Because I didn't actually realise we've also got kind of crows here, although they're in reverse, and we've got crows here. And like I said to you as well, I know that crows can be this thing of like a gateway between different realities. I feel an opportunity is coming your way, and it's something you've been working on for a long time. And I think, I don't know, I know it's as simple as just this, but I just really feel like the most important message you need to hear right now is that your inner child is completely on board and supportive of you. So if you come against any roadblocks, and previously you might have thought there was something to do with your inner child, it's not your inner child. I think that's more something to do with just simply you, which can be a lot easier to shift if that was to come up. And maybe almost like you feeling on some level that you're not ready for whatever this thing is that you have been working to create. But the truth is you absolutely are ready. But also with this baby steps card here, but I love how we've got 3 and a 3, 33. 33 is like that incredible, awesome number of like, I always think like a super potent higher consciousness. And also 3s are really communicative, they're really connective. And I do think there is this thing obviously about connections, as we talked about before, like tapping into the right connections. But also because you have this balanced energy of masculine and feminine, you kind of pull in a lot of connections. I just feel like I'm missing something and I can't get what it is. I just want to pull a couple more. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, we'll do these, I think. I just feel like there's something else your inner child wants you to know that just pulls all of this together. Let's just see. I think we want 3 actually. More crows. No friggin' way. 7 of Swords. I mean, guys, there's definitely a real opportunity that's going to bring a lot of change for you headed your way. Like, for sure. 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Swords. Okay, you know what? This opportunity is coming. But you know what? You just need to hold steady. Because I still think it's just going to take a little bit of time to come through and manifest. But you're completely on the right direction. And I just feel like the next most important thing you needed to hear was that your inner child is trusting you. So anything else that reoccurs in your reality that doesn't seem to be moving forward, just it's something to do with you. And I think it's your resistance to moving forward and change on a really, really deep level. But actually it's really easy for you to overcome. I do think just like a little bit of meditation, or maybe not even that, just a tiny little bit of word with yourself, that actually you don't have to rush anything. You can take these baby steps and then everything will start to flow in the way that you want. And I do think the summer is going to be a time period. You know, this video is obviously timeless, but depending on where you're at, I think the summer could be really a real good time of things sort of coming into fruition in some kind of way. I suppose all I'm trying to say to you is, wait, let me give you the time frame. So right now, when I'm recording this, it's March, April, May, June. So maybe 3 months. From whenever you look at this video, I think in 3 months' time, something very different, a real big opportunity will have come through. But I do think it's important that you just make sure that you realise all the work you've done, how far you've come, how well you're doing. Your inner child supports you, and it's all going in exactly the right direction that it needs to. So in all honesty, some of the other messages from the inner child were my kind of specific things they needed to be aware of or things they needed to work on. Yours is more just like the green light of we're good to go from your inner child. I'm literally getting that we're good to go. And I think the more that you can appreciate that you really are in that great space, the more it will open you up to whatever this new opportunity is, and the easier you will find it to step into this new opportunity. Because I actually think if this new opportunity was literally to come in 2 hours' time, let's say, I think it would be difficult for you to take that opportunity, because although you're on that pathway, you just got a tiny little bit more to go. But this is the thing. By the time the new opportunity presents itself in absolutely the right flow of everything, like with the moon cycles, it will actually be an easy transition for you. And that's all part of why your inner child is relaxed, and maybe even some of you deep down are relaxed. Maybe before you might have been a bit more uptight about, oh, when's this thing going to happen? When's it going to happen? But I do believe you guys have got a certain level of surrender. I just want to do this one more question, actually. So let's just give this question out there. So let's imagine now you've taken on board the fact that your inner child says it's totally happy and confident with you, etc., etc. So then where will you be at? Because I kind of feel like that's the really big pivotal point. And by you listening to this video, you're already hearing that and tapping into that. So now let's just see, once that idea is integrated within you, and I have a video on integration time. I'm going to see it like a psychic channel. What I mean is, by the time this reading integrates within you, your vibration will have changed. So then where will you be at to do with this new opportunity or this thing manifesting? It's kind of like what I want to know. So I'll leave a link for that video as well, but let's just see. Ooh. Okay, so we have the 4 of Pentacles, and that's another 4. That was a 4 of Pentacles there. Ace of Swords and the Sage. I feel like you'll have anchored in a new belief system. It's to do with how you are a conscious creator within your life. Quite simply that. And then I think this is the thing. Whatever this new belief system is, it's exactly what you need to help bring along this manifestation further. Because I feel like although you guys understand that you are the creators of your own life and you've been working on things, there's still just a tiny little bit of like, what would be the word say? I know. It's like you are like that sand thing. So you know a sand timer that's like an hourglass or whatever. when you're first working on whatever this project is that you've been wanting to create, it's kind of like you had all the sand in the top bit of like that hourglass, and that made you quite heavy, right? But slowly, as you've been working on yourself, as you've been doing all of these things, as you've been balancing your energy, as obviously your inner child's been feeling way more confident with you, all of that sand has started to slip down away into the bottom bit, so you don't feel anywhere near as heavy. Now you've kind of got like the tiniest little bit to go, but you see that's still like a little bit of added weight that you don't need. As soon as that sinks and integrates into, like, say, the bottom part of the hourglass, which is really where that energy, that last little bit of heavy energy, has moved itself out of your energy field, then boom, that's when this idea comes in, that's when this realization comes in, that's when this opportunity comes in, because that's when your energy field changes to do with the fact that you know that you are your conscious creator. And there's something about that that's like really, really powerful. But also just pay attention to what we were saying before about, who to be connecting with, being mindful about where you let people into certain situations in your life, just to make sure that you continue on with flow, just to make sure that you continue on with releasing that last bit of like energy. Because another way of looking at this is you just need to just increase your vibration just a little bit more. And you know what, you don't actually have to do anything different because it's already happening. But now it's just about recognizing, just like almost like the time delay, for you to just like align to that high vibration, and then everything will be there. But it's just so important that your inner child trusts you, because that just also means if you've been having any blockages, if you've been having any kind of like little bits of resistance coming in, or whatever it might be, that sort of thing is going to be fading away now. And I do think you'll be moving on to kind of like much more positive, like more revitalizing energy in circumstances and situations. So you won't be working against the grain anymore, as well, as kind of what I'm getting, which is awesome. Now let's just pull another card for you guys to add to this, to what your inner child is wanting to tell you right now. Let's see what you get. Okay. Ooh, nice. Mastery. Yeah, exactly, guys. You've totally worked on yourself. Cool, so just pause this video if you need to. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and please like and subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Instagram on AbigailGrace2311. I just leave loads of psychic stuff there. I also have Twitter and Facebook, and then obviously my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, where I post lots of other tips, tools and techniques. And if you haven't already seen it, I do think the integration video will be really useful for you guys, because you're just kind of literally in that integration period, but you are towards the very end of it. I do want to say that you're totally towards the very end of it, which is awesome. If you'd like a reading from me, just email me on this address and then we can sort something out. But other than that, enjoy the fact that your inner child is totally on board. Like, honestly, guys, if you don't know much about your inner child, just let me tell you, that's friggin' epic. It's great news, and it's awesome for whatever you're looking to create or manifest. So cool. See you guys later. Bye.